Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode we explored Oho Oasis, and we got hand powers for Mario and Luigi. Luigi has lightning, and Mario has thunder. We can use them in battle and in the field, but now, with opening away with these magic powers, we open up a new pipe to the underground water that just kind of heads down into the ocean. These are interesting yellow pipes in that you kind of have to work together to get out of them, but if you go in them, you just drop down. So if we read this, Oho Ocean, tips for novice divers. So basically, we gotta swim by tapping the buttons. And that's basically what that tutorial says there, is you have to basically mash the buttons to swim, because you don't just jump underwater. And there's already a save point there, right next to where Oho Oasis was, so that's pretty pointless. Going on ahead, now that we have Mario's hand powers, or Mario and Luigi's hand powers, we can use them to, well, use them underwater. This basically is a mini dungeon that gets us back towards Beanbean Kingdom, and it's pretty short. All of the purposes, and that was a thing, the only real purpose of it is to sort of let you play around with your new moves. And if we touch this guy, we have new enemies. We have bloopers and scuba goombas, I believe. Or some kind of Goombas. Hey, there are Goombas here. We're not in the Mushroom Kingdom. Well, I guess that the Goombas are on vacation somewhere else, because now they are not here. This is a silly thing. So now that we're underwater and we have our hand powers, we can try playing around with them, experimenting and trying to find things that might be super effective against new enemies. But these enemies are weak to neither fire nor water, which is interesting. So the bloopers, as you can see, will do their little thing they do in Super Mario Bros. 1. And basically, you have to be ready on the draw when they start dropping towards you, because there is basically no delay in that. As for the, whatchamacallits, the Goombas, first we're going to take out one of these bloopers, because they've kind of shown the extent of their abilities. These Goombas will either jump at you, and I think their tell for if they're going to jump at Luigi is they'll jump twice. I wasn't paying attention to what the tell for Mario is. And I'm not, I think that, who is that? I think that the tell for blooper is just, you know, it doesn't really need a tell. It just kind of drifts over to whoever it's going to attack. So now that we're going to keep using our Hammer Brother moves, by the way, because we want to try and get the advanced move. But we're not going to get it if I keep screwing up. So hopefully that will be rectified soon. Rectified soon. Ignore that other thing I said, please. By all means, just ignore that completely. And as thanks, I will kill this Goomba. So nothing to write home about those guys. However, we do level up for the first time in a while, because the bloopers give pretty good experience. The bloopers hit pretty hard too if they hit Mario. And now that we have Mario level up, let's just put some points into his defense so he doesn't get murdered every time he gets hit. And if you notice this cute little aesthetic detail, if you scroll back a few seconds in the video, whatever your finishing move in the battle was, if it's a jump, a hammer attack, or a thunder hand power move, that will determine the pose the brothers take at the end of the battle. So let's put points into Luigi's BP, because I like BP. So now that that's taken care of and we've cleared out those enemies, those Goombas, we're going to check out this map and see that this is a very small area, and it's even smaller because you can ignore the entire section below. Like, the path that we actually have ahead of us is very straightforward, and we don't really need to worry about it too much. Alright, now that that dude is taken care of, we want to avoid these urchins, because if we touch them... Oh, frig. So those enemies are taken care of, and that's actually the most dangerous part about this area, is when you're swimming over the urchins, it's kind of hard to dodge enemies that are swimming around. The only real tell for the Goombas diving from the surface is little bubbles that you'll see on the ground before they hit the ground. So if we come up here, we can learn that what we learn is whatever surface we start swimming from will determine the maximum height of the Mario and Luigi's swim. So the higher you start, the higher you can actually swim. If that makes any sense. I'm not sure exactly how to phrase it, but we're going to want to head over this way and try to avoid the Goombas because they stink and are jerks. I think that's a fair assessment. And now over here we have a weird looking thingy. Like a jellyfish? Well, apparently you're supposed to probably be able to deduce that in order to get through here, you probably need to use a hand power. And since fire won't do it, it's just kind of assumed that you need to use electricity. Whenever you see a big blue ball, it's usually an indicator that you need to use lightning powers. That's usually the tell that that's what you gotta use. Now in this area, we just kind of have a whole ton of spikes and a whole ton of bloopers, and they are just kind of swarming around us. I always found the bloopers to be the most difficult and persistent enemies to avoid in the original Mario Brothers, and they're not really much different here. And we got not a new enemy exactly, we have an old enemy from the, Chucklehuck Woods. We have Pest Nuts with upped stats and speed. So first things first, we're gonna wanna, not jump on them because that's silly. We're gonna wanna hit these bloopers, try and get them out of the way first because we gotta show off what the Pest Nuts do, obviously. The Urchin Pest Nuts. The bloopers have a lot of health. As you can see, they have upped speed, but they basically do this. They basically have the same moves as they had before, but do they still contain a beanie? The question is, will Luigi survive on his own? You gotta be ready. Oh, also when you try to use a hammer when there's only one brother left, you have to release a little earlier than usual in order to get that brother back up. I'm actually going to use, well, I was going to use a 1-up super, but then I realized I only have 2. And 1-up supers are better conserved because 1-up mushrooms already heal like half of your health, and usually that's sufficient. It's not like the kinds of games like the Mario, not the Marios, but the Final Fantasy games where a cure that would only revive you with like half your health wouldn't be sufficient against a boss that, can kill you in one hit. And Mario died again. I am bad at this. We need to get him back up now because I feel bad about that. That was poor performance. So, Mario is healthy again, although he was questioning his life. We are going to finish off at least one of these bloopers. I do not remember them having so much health, but they do. These guys are really fast. And now, oh yeah, also these Pest Nuts can poison the Mario Brothers. I don't remember if the other ones can. The other, the ones in Chucklehuck Woods can do that. But, as you can see, Luigi's actually pretty low on health now, so we actually might want to heal. But now that the bloopers are gone, that's half the problem. But once you knock away their shell, it's a beanie underneath. But beanies can't swim, so he just drifts away forever. So he's gonna hit Luigi, and just because I don't want Luigi to die, we are going to, stuff a super mushroom down his throat. First super mushroom. But that's pretty cool. I really love the animations of when the brothers use items on each other and they just throw it into each other's mouths. It's really cool detail. This has been a long battle going on though, so we might want to finish this up for, like a random encounter. Thankfully, there's not really much more to show with these underwater fights. We just get our experience and continue on, being still surrounded by bloopers, because they are not nice. So we try to come down here, but there's a door this way. Don't worry about that door. Most of this area you won't be exploring until a little later. And we got ourselves a new move. Finally, that was taking forever. So, we're going to show that off quickly, if that Goomba is going to just jump in our face. The underwater Goombas are more dangerous based on how close they are to you, and if you were paying attention, the tell for when it attacks Mario was that little dance he does. So let's try out the new Knockback Mother's move, which we don't have enough BP to do in the slow version, so I'm just going to do the fast version since I already know how to do it. What we want to do is we want to hit Mario and then immediately hit the new move that you get. You want to immediately hit the Mario button, the button that controls Mario, right away, and then you can just kind of knock Mario back and forth multiple times. Whereas with the original version of Knockback Brothers, will hit you once into the enemy for massive damage. The advanced version lets you hit them multiple times as long as you can keep a combo up between knocking Mario into the enemy and then knocking him back. Sort of like how the advanced version of the Chopper Brothers move just sort of, you can keep that going on for pretty much forever with decreasing numbers over time, but they're overpowered and some of the best moves in the game. So we come up here and we find that there's a lot of lantern spots that we can light, and if we hit this button, 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. I've always remembered codes by singing 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. I am so sorry for my song 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. If I could actually light this thing 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. We wanna light all of these 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. I believe if you mess up, this will kill you. It'll drop an enemy on your face. Now it is done. I apologize for nothing. So just swing on ahead through towards the rest of this area. If we look at this map, we actually see that we are on the cusp of the end of this area, and there are 2 save points in adjacent rooms, and that might seem pointless, but I think there's a reason for it, and mostly in that we can't actually reach one of them right now. So that guy is taken care of, and bloopers are very aggressive enemies. We can't really do anything in this area yet, so don't bother swimming up to those platforms yet. There's nothing really worthwhile. And if we swim up and hit this save block, we can save. I know, saving is exciting business and all, but now we can actually show off this pipe proper, where if we have to hold the buttons together and have Mario and Luigi go back to back and move up the pipe. Little detail I want to show off real quick is if you take one brother's legs off, the other brother's legs will scrape against the side, so that is really cool. I don't know, I just really like the attention to detail in this game. Meanwhile, near the border,
Oh, great, Cacoletta. Will this guy do? Anyone will do now. Hurry, quickly.
That was an anonymous little moment there, an ominous moment. But if we read this sign, there's a surfing spot over there. I don't know, but I find that really fun. An anonymous. We can't break that with our hammer, but I'm sorry, I need a moment to recover from that. So now that we've taken care of that and crossed over from Oho Oasis, we're actually back in the Beanbean Castletown outskirts. And if we can't, we could actually come over this way earlier in the game, but we wouldn't be able to get through that gate. I have searched high and low for you two. I feared that you'd met a terrible fate. Yes, it is true. The Beanstar split into 4 pieces. They have scattered. It is sad, really. What? You say you'll help me search for the Beanstar pieces? Of course, I would be most appreciative. But actually, I'd like you to go to Beanbean Airport. You see, Princess Peach is blessing our fair land with her presence. Luigi, it's not that impressive. You see her like every day. A dignitary of Princess Peach's stature visiting our kingdom is a very serious affair. And that is why I would like you two in attendance to greet her royal loveliness. As such, you must head for Beanbean Airport immediately. Well, by the by, Beanbean Airport is south of Beanbean Castle. I must head there myself immediately, so I'll see you there. So now that he basically mentioned to tell us where to go, where we want to go is down this way, but first, we don't want to go that way, because I said so. First, we want to head up into this area right here, and I have a very good reason for it, because we have a warp pipe that we can add to our network, so now we have an easy way to the east side / the coast of Beanbean Kingdom. We won't explore this area too much, however, I will take this opportunity to jump on a Bob-omb's head, because they are a new enemy and they deserve showing off. And we also have the paratroopy from before, who I believe is just as dangerous as they used to be. Now, I'm going to heal Mario, and just for the record, these guys are really dangerous. The Bob-ombs. If you come here early in the game, there's a good chance that they will kill you. because they can stun Mario and Luigi if they hit them. So actually what you want to do is they'll try to charge at you, and they'll instantly kill themselves. I'm going to show off another thing to sort of try and show off how to fight these guys. They're really hard. What you have to do is you have to swing your hammer the moment they actually start charging at you, because the tremor will, I guess, activate something that will force them. We haven't used Splash Brothers in a while. The tremor will do something that will make them explode at a distance away from you. Hopefully at a distance. If they're too close, they'll do damage and potentially stun you, and nobody wants that. If we hit them with lightning, it's nothing to write home about. However, these aren't necessarily... You can also trip them up if they're close enough. But anyway, Bob-ombs are weak to fire, as you can probably guess, and they actually don't explode on you like they would in probably Paper Mario. Bob-ombs are always interesting enemies to fight, and I'm not sure why they're hanging out on the beach. Maybe they're remnants of a war between the Mushroom Kingdom and the Beanbean Kingdom. That's silly. So listening to Prince Peasley's instruction, we're gonna head over the way we're supposed to go, that he asked us to go. Still along this area, and this is actually the east side of... This is the east exit to Beanbean Castletown, but we're not gonna worry about that right now, because we're gonna head directly where he wants us to. This should also look familiar as the entrance to Woohoo University, and these guys still yell at us if we try to, you know, bother them. So actually, it's a good idea that we came around this way the first time, like when we went to... I was saying it was a good thing that when we went to Woohoo University, we took the long way around, because if we tried to go directly this way, the fast route, from Oho Oasis, this door would be locked and we wouldn't be able to get past it. So that's a reason you want to take this path when you go to Woohoo University the first time. And we still can't do anything with that statue there, but it's a moot point. We can't do anything with that either. Actually, we can do something with that block if we so elected to, but I won't worry about it for the time being. So just as to make sure that this is the path that we want to go, and even though I wonder how anybody else opens this thing up, we have a couple conductors of electricity. And the interesting thing is, there are some conductors scattered around Beanbean Outskirts that we could go take care of now, but they're so out of the way, and the rewards aren't really that big a deal, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. We come over here and there are really hard blocks in our way, we can't break those. And there are blocks over here, and I gotta switch these brothers around because I can't get the timing on this right if they are in that order. I'm gonna just cut ahead to the end of those because those blocks take a long time. So we got this little symbol that shows that we're at Beanbean International Airport. But I'm not gonna go in there yet. I'm actually going to save and call this a video because there will be things happening in the next episode. So yeah, in this episode, we got from Oho Oasis back to the Beanbean Kingdom. And we got a little cutscene that shows that maybe defeating Cackletta wasn't the end after all. Maybe she still has another trick up her sleeve. Ah, who am I kidding? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you want to figure out what happens next in this story, I hope to see somebody in the next one.